Welcome to Clicks and Coffee. I'm Alexander, and here we dive deep in the journeys of entrepreneurs and marketing innovators. Each episode, we uncover the challenges, triumphs, and unique strategies of our amazing guests, giving you valuable insights and inspiration. Our goal is to build a community of growth oriented professionals ready to learn, collaborate, and thrive in the ever evolving world of digital marketing. So, whether you're here for the latest trends, or looking for that next big idea, you've come to the right place. Let's get started. And today we're interviewing David Merzel, who started a consulting firm after spending 20 years at huge corporations such as Unilever and Microsoft. He now wants to share his impressive experience for sales, marketing strategies, and go to market strategies with all of his clients. He's also writing a very tactical book about go-to-market strategy in the AI space or AI world, or should I say today. And I promise you that today I'll try to get as many secrets out of him as possible. David, thanks for being here.
Oh, thank you, Alex. Really very happy to having me. Thank you.
All right, so David, can you tell us a little bit about your career journey and your pretty crazy story of how you end up in the US and yeah, and how was it to, shift from one country to the other at such big companies?
Sure. So, as you said, I spent more than 20 years in marketing and sales, working with big names like Unilever and Microsoft. I live here in Florida now for 12 years. And basically, it's a decision we've taken mostly for our family. We realized like more than 10 years ago, and I was really reading a newspaper, that Europe will be in, I would say, in a very challenging situation by 2030, 2040. And I remember really well. And I said to my wife, hey, just for our kids, we lived in Belgium at that moment, which is a very small country in Western Europe. I said, just for them, let's explore other opportunities worldwide. And it took me 2 years, literally, to move from Microsoft Belgium to Microsoft US. Microsoft is not a company managing your career. You need to manage your career yourself. And every time I had meeting in Seattle or Atlanta or anywhere, I spend one day additional just to start connecting with people. And I recall one person told me, hey, David, it's going to take 2 years. And it took two years for me to move from Belgium to US.
But how did you manage to move from Belgium to US because you were working in Europe and now you're like, hey guys, you know what? I changed my mind. Can I go to the US? How
Yes,
how the process worked?
yeah, basically, the process is very transparent at Microsoft. So every time they open a job, it's public for internal people and also external. It's published on LinkedIn as well. And every time a job that fits my experience was available, I was connecting with the manager. I got tons of interviews. I failed so many times, learning on the go. And I realized very quickly that I had zero network because when you work for Belgium at Microsoft, you are within Benelux. Within Benelux, you are within Western Europe, then Western within EMEA, and then nobody from corporation knows you basically. And I was country manager for the consumer division, which is a pretty big job in Belgium. But if you contact some people at corporation, they don't know you at all. So I realized that I will start connecting with people, creating my network, being clear what I want to do in the future. And so we defined with my wife the countries. So we wanted to have something English speaking. We wanted ideally to have a place with pretty good weather. And in terms of skills, I wanted to have something sales or marketing where I can have impact through a team. And so in terms of location, it was indeed Miami. It was a good location. It could have been also Australia. And I was also open for Singapore. And so I start really
Wow.
sending my resume to all these places and connecting with people. But again, I got many fails, which is a learning
So
process.
basically you had to quit your job in Belgium,
Yes,
apply to a new job
exactly.
where you wanted to be, and you managed to land in
Exactly.
Florida
Yeah,
with
and,
a
and
pretty
so
impressive.
I resigned because technically you need to resign in Belgium. I resigned once my job, my transfer has been confirmed. But this is the way
Yes,
it works. You need really to take your career on your own, your responsibility, and this is the way it works at Microsoft, which is good, but it's not easy. It takes time.
but it's pretty crazy when you think about it, of like, well,
Yeah,
bringing the whole family, moving from where we grew up to a whole different place.
exactly.
And so you ended up in Microsoft as the regional director for LATAM, and then global consumer channel sales leader for Xbox, Surface, Office, and Windows. So that was
That's right.
pretty crazy. And so, what exactly were you doing? Because it's big title, but what exactly were you doing, and how did you help Microsoft with their products during your tenure there?
Exactly. So, so my first move was to focus on Latin America. So I'm still based here in Florida. This is a hub for Latin America. And my first role moving to the US was to manage Microsoft 365 on a regional level and to be what we call the sales category lead for this specific product. And what you do basically is to define the strategy to sell this product more, to help sales with the right tactics, the right tools, and to deliver. Basically, you are responsible to deliver the P&L, so the profit and loss. You have a full profit and loss responsibility, and you give them all the tools that they need to get in order to be successful. So basically, you do many country visits, you meet many customers just to make sure you land your strategy, your tactics. And it's moving all the time because it's not that you have a strategy and the strategy is perfectly applied. You learn on the go in flight, and based on this, you make adjustments. You make also escalation to corporation to adjust the pricing or the program that you need, or even the product long term. So you are really the point of contact for corporation on this specific product, and you are the supportive function for all the sellers in Latin America. And in Latin America, typically they are selling many products. They are selling Surface, Microsoft 365, Windows, and Xbox. And so you want one of your, I mean, you represent one of their products. So you are the one, like the ambassador, pushing for them to sell more. But at the same time, you are the key contact from cooperation in the region, in Latin America, to bring some insight, to make sure that we develop the right go-to-market strategy, the right product mix in terms of promotion, pricing, advertising, and so on. And you support the function and you support the countries, escalating the right demand to cooperation, and you give all these insights to cooperation so that they can adjust quickly the strategy to be successful. You see,
And I
so
saw that you were managing at one point like 100 countries, or more than 100 countries, the
yeah,
the the pricing and sales organization. So I'm sure you've
yeah.
seen a lot of different ways of selling, a lot of different, I would say, customs or way of buying
Oh,
even
yes.
from
So
customers.
absolutely. So that was in my last role. I moved from a regional role to a global role. And in a global role, you learn a lot about the different regions. And indeed, the way to do business is very different. I also learned a lot about the different mentalities that we have in the different region. So, and I can explain that. So typically in Asia, what I'm saying is very black and white, but this is pretty true. When I visited Japan, somebody told me, "Hey, the customer never will say no, never." And this is true. After the meeting, everybody, everything was perfect. And they told me, "Yes, but this is Japan. Never they will say it's not good or good, or it's neutral, because they don't want you to lose. They want to be respectful for you. So they don't want you that you lose your face in the meeting. So they are always positive or neutral in all what you say. If you go to, let's say, some Latin country are very straightforward, like typically Argentinian people are very straightforward because they are more, uh, it's more based on the Italian roots, where people are also very direct in business. And again, no judgment here. It's some
Your
commonalities that I've seen,
observations.
observations, exactly. And here it's the opposite. People are very direct in meeting most of the time, in a positive way for me, because I'm coming from Belgium. I've worked a lot for Dutch company, which are also super direct, or for French companies, supporting French companies like Carrefour, as you know, I'm sure you know, they're also super direct. And so we use typically meeting as a, a conflict point, just to share ideas and then to achieve like an alignment on something. So for me, it's very natural to do that and to have really a conversation in meeting, which is not the case of some countries in Asia, like Japan. Is completely different. So I've learned a lot. And then you have also some differences in terms of, and for the consumer market, in terms of the market is organized. So if we if I take one extreme, is US is extremely consolidated. You have, if you take the consumer market, consumer electronic specifically, four customers will cover, let's say, 70% of the market, like Best Buy, like Walmart, Target, and Amazon. You pick these four, you have 70-80%. If you go to the opposite side, like Latin America, you cannot do a Pareto curve. It's almost impossible to have 20% of the customer representing 80% of the market. It's almost impossible. And so in that situation, it's extremely complex continent, because it's as big as US, super fragmented. The geo coverage is very complex to get. And so in that context, it's better to work with the distribution instead of working directly with the big names. And this is something I've learned a lot working at Microsoft. And we've done some adjustment in our channel strategy. In some market, we've decided to put much more focus on the distribution and to do the business through the distribution, and that they can really represent our point of view and our execution in front of the partner, rather than trying to connect with all the partners. It's impossible. It's the return on investment is not there. It's very complex because you don't have the geo coverage. So you have some exception. In Brazil, it's more consolidated. So you have like four big names covering 60-70% of the market. Mexico is in between, but in many countries is different. So this is a big learning for me.
Very interesting. So, now that you have traveled so far and in so many places, can you tell me, in your opinion or your preference, which is the easiest country to deal with and which is the most complicated?
Oh, that's a great question. So I would say for me it's there is no easy or difficult situation. I would say it's the paradigm is very different. And let me take again very black and white approach. So you have some countries based on relationship, other countries based on the transaction. Okay, US is more transactional. So it means that in the US, and it doesn't mean that relationship is not important, but it's even more important to be super clear on the rational aspect of the relation, to make sure we have a give and take approach, which is very rational. Okay, I will bring this to the business. You can bring me this. So you come with your pitch deck, you come with your rational points, and normally it should work in the US. In Latin America or in Asia, it's more based on relation. So first, before talking about business, you need to build this relationship because this relationship will define your trust relationship after. If you don't have this genuine relationship, authentic relationship, it's very difficult to bring really even rationality in the business because first the relationship needs to be built. So for me, it's a big difference. Um, so I would say if you understand that, you will accommodate your way of working. And it's not that it's easier or more difficult to do that. But for sure, when I went first in Latin America, I made the mistake to come with a very rational approach, which is also very European, definitely. I would say north of Europe and Netherlands, with it's very, very rational. It doesn't work that way. So I learned very fast, and my colleagues clearly teach me that. And so I changed this approach, and I open more conversation on a relationship way to understand the challenges from the partner before coming directly with the solution. So this is something I learned a lot. If you take another extreme, which also I've learned so much, is France. And I'm sure you know that because you are from France. You are from France or Belgium? I don't
Yeah,
recall.
yeah, France.
France. So France is typically based on, and again, no judgment here, but the retail is very aggressive most of the time, and we can see that in some movies, like La Vérité si je mens, a typically French movie where you can see how it can what's happening in retail. Of course, it's not the truth, but the way things are happening
Oh,
in.
that was your experience. Let's put it that way.
Yes, it's very, very tough. I've been trained, and the title of the training was How to Negotiate Like French People. That was the training. It's real. And the trainer was the trainer also from Carrefour. And I got this training when I was working for Unilever, a FMCG company like P&G in the US. And the guy told us, hey, you need to know that every Carrefour buyer, back of the agenda, they have a one pager, what you need to do to make your seller a little bit bad, or to push him really very, very aggressively on the side, and you have some question to ask, and just to push him and to get more from the negotiation at the end. And so he told us that he has shown us the one pager, which is super interesting. And when you understand that, okay, you know it's a game, and then you know how to behave and what to say, not to say, and
I'm
how to.
not gonna say it's not true, but
Sorry?
I'm not gonna say it's not true. I kind of like know exactly what you mean.
But once you know that, yeah, it's not more difficult than anywhere else. You just need to get this understanding, and then you can go. So yeah, so for me, you need to understand where the relationship is important, where your rationality is important, like in the US, to have real good business case, and where you have more, yeah, it's more influencing strategy to have, like in France, where you need to navigate through the
So
through
you,
the.
you're happy to be in the US where it fits more your profile of rational
No, I mean,
negotiation. It makes sense. Let's go. Let's do it.
yeah, I mean, no, I mean, when I
I kind
was.
of like that too, to be honest.
Yeah, in the
It's just
US, I worked a lot with everybody worldwide. So I moved from one call in Asia, and then to a call in Europe, and then to US. So for me, I can really navigate through this different paradigm, I would say, which is super fine for me.
no, no,
But
but yeah, I
I
can
like the
imagine.
way US is doing business or managing things, because it's very rational, very business case driven, and once they decide to do something, they go for it. This is what I really like. Uh,
I agree.
and,
I
uh,
like
and
that too. I like you make your plan. It makes sense. Let's go. Let's do it, and trust
exactly.
each other. And It's pretty
Exactly. And
cool.
when they make mistake, okay, they acknowledge the mistake, and then they change the plan. They have this agility that, yeah, that is really, really impressive coming from Europe, where we miss sometimes agility in the business, and
Mm,
we see the impact in economy. Every time there is a big economic challenge, uh, Europe takes more time to adjust compared to US. And I think it's because US companies are taking quick decision to make sure they can make the profitability, the revenue, and sometimes bad decision also for
oh,
employees.
yeah.
But the
That's what I
market
was
is
about to
very
say. It's like
challenging.
sometimes it's a little, too
Exactly.
rational. It's a little
Exactly.
too rational, but it is what it is.
Exactly.
Um, and so, right before we started this podcast, you told me about your book, and
Yes.
I'm super interested because one of the thing today is a lot of big companies like Home Depot, and we talked about the Target, are kind of trying to recreate the Amazon effect of creating their marketplaces. And we all know that depending of your industry, those marketplaces can drive a lot of business, but I can also hurt your own business because you're competing with people that have totally different economics. And I can totally take the example of Amazon, where we've seen with clients where they would sell to Amazon and Amazon would sell at a loss the product that they buy from from the supplier, just to get that market share, just to get, because they know with AI, if somebody comes 50% of the time they combine this purchase with this, so they know that overall they're going to make money, but that is hurting the company. And so I'm really interested in like what you're going to talk in that book. And of course, I don't want you to tell everything in the book, otherwise there is no point of reading the book. But kind of, how are you seeing the channel management? How do you see the channel management, and what are the issues and what are the solutions that you're bringing?
Yes. So indeed, I'm authoring a book. The book is not finished yet, and the book is it's about the go-to-market strategy in the era of AI. And why this book? For me, there is right now really a rapid growth of AI.
Mm-hmm.
We see that there is a big potential to revolutionize marketing and sales, and this is why I've been inspired to write this book. So you need to see this book first to understand what's go-to-market strategy. And for me, in a very simple way to explain that, for me, go-to-market strategy is the spectrum from product development up to customer development. And in between, you have different things. You have the marketing strategy. After product development, you have the channel strategy, which is very important, and you just
Mm-hmm.
mentioned that. You have the sales strategy, and you have the sales enablement strategy, which is what tools we need to develop to help salespeople to be more efficient. And so I've structured this book around martial arts, which seems interesting. So just for you to know, I practiced karate for years, and now I'm starting even competition. So martial arts has been for me super inspiring in my life to drive my energy, my focus, and also in the business. And I wanted to structure the book around martial art to make it simple, and from white belt, sorry, to black belt, and this to just to symbolize the journey from novice to master in go-to-market strategy. This book covers a wide range of topics, from market intelligence, which is for me the starting point to understand what type of insights you can collect from the market for your product development, up to, as I was saying before, the customer engagement. And all AI can help you. AI today, for me, it's confusing in the sense that everybody is talking about AI, and many people in companies can be a little bit lost because they're approached by very specialized company focusing just on one thing. which is great, but they don't know if this one thing will fix the entire problem. And this is why I want to start with the go-to-market strategy, as I was saying, from the product development up to the customer development and everything in between. And then I want to see how AI can be plugged in to help the companies to be more productive, efficient in their go-to-market strategy. This is exactly what I'm trying to do. And so now I'm building that. I've built already the framework. I know exactly how the go-to-market strategy is. I'm starting understanding where are the best practices. And then I will reach out some specialized companies, specialized in a very specific topic so that I can bring them also in the book. So if there is any specialized company now in the podcast, happy to discuss with them, because I really want to bring the best of the best practice and offering a clear and tactical tool for any companies from
So it could
start,
be even
scale up,
yeah.
mid-size or big companies to understand where they can plug this solution in the entire go-to-market strategy.
And so yeah, it's going to be a really practical, I would say, almost a guide of like go-to market strategies for dummies almost, but
Exactly,
really not just like basic, but really everything and at all levels. So somebody that
exactly,
wants to start like a sock company, or that could be a company that is already there and kind of want to refine their process,
exactly.
and helping them also maybe create new products and bring new products to market. And then so your book is going to be for digital sales, or is it for like everything, like from any type
It's
of
for
sales?
everything. No, it's for
Okay.
everything because channel strategy is part of that. And
So it's
so
not just
first,
marketplace strategies, really. It can be like retail, physical sales,
yes,
digital
exactly.
sales, resale, and all this
It can be
stuff.
B2B, B2B2C, B2C, which is different, and any vertical. So it's for me, it's very agnostic. But then, of course, I will deep dive, and I'm deep diving already on best practices related to very specific vertical or industries. So yes, and I'm naming it. What's very interesting, I want this project to be done in co-creation. It's always the way I've done all my things. Also, when I was at Microsoft or Unilever, is co-create things. Same approach here. So I'm publishing regularly new extracts of the book on my website, davidmerzel.com, David Merzel in one word, just to make sure that yeah, people start being aligned on that, that I can also open some conversation with people. Hey, I love it. I want to be part of it. And I want to bring my best practices. Can I talk with you? And this is the way I want to do things. So, because things are evolving so fast in AI that I want to open this conversation and to open.
And
So
really create a
regularly I
Bible of like the go-to market for any companies that is, trying to get the best practice and really get like a encompassing guide for everything.
exactly.
That's super cool. And so I wanted to dive a little bit, if you don't mind, on the marketplace strategies, because that's
Yes.
one of the thing that is talked about every day at Pentelope. And really, so how, because it really started with Amazon. And I remember probably 20, not 20 years ago, but close to 20 years ago, buying my university book on Amazon, actually, because I would go to the university and it was super expensive, the price of books. Then you go on Amazon, you're like, oh my God, this is like super cheap. Let's go buy them. Or sometime I would break them or lose them. That happened a couple of times. But yeah, so Amazon went from this you know strange place to buy to now, like, clearly people don't think about it. They open the app, look for the product like they would look on Google, and just look for something that fits what they're looking for. It doesn't matter the name of the brand anymore. It can be called like Zuazu, or like those weird Chinese names that they have
Yes.
on the marketplace. But it's becoming such a crazy platform that all of the brands sell now on Amazon. was seeing huge brands, resisting and now decided to go sell on Amazon just because of that. But it makes everything, a little more, I would say, complicated. And I'm curious to get your take on how to manage, what is your vision on marketplace strategy for brands?
Yeah. No, this is a great point. So first, before doing
I
that,
see you writing down. I want to get a
yeah, no, I
mention
take
in
I
the, in
take
the
your
book. I want to
question
say said by Alex.
exactly. No, no, the thing is, before having a clear marketplace strategy, you need a channel strategy. This is super important. And channel strategy, it means that you need to be super clear on the following thing. You need to be clear, okay, what are the different channels I am selling to, and what is the role of every channel I'm selling to? This is the starting point.
So that that could
Because,
that that means like retail, physical sales, digital
yes,
sales. That means more
I can
more
give you
more.
an example.
Yep.
When I was at Microsoft, in my role as worldwide channel sales lead, we had different channels. We had distribution. It was a channel as well. We had mobile operator. We had retail. And within retail, you have marketplace. And we have also defined like the strategic partner and the market maker partner. Market maker are the biggest one, strategic are less important, and that's it. So for me, this is very important to have clarity on that. And what's very helpful for any business is to do the numbers where your business is today and where you want your business to be in the future in terms of revenue and in terms of revenue mix. This is the first dimension. The second dimension is profitability. You need to be super clear for these different channels. So distribution, mobile operator, let's say market maker, the biggest in retail and strategic. What is your profitability today? And the last one is the capability. You have some partners that can be super good in execution. All the things that you want to execute, you need to assess if these different partners are capable to help you bringing your goods on the market. And you can work with capability tool to bring some rationality on that. Once you have these three dimensions, you can start mapping things. And the strategy I was always focusing on is to say, okay, let's focus on the partners with the highest capability, highest profitability, and where we see the highest growth potential. And this should be your obsession. And you need to understand now we are in year one. In year three, are you going to move this revenue even higher for these top partners with the higher profitability, capability, and revenue? If yes, what are the things you will do with these partners? And then you start your channel strategy. Then you have the marketplace within all these partners. And this is the same exercise you need to do. Is the marketplace the right thing? Is it are you happy with the capability? Are you happy with the way the marketplace is bringing the experience online? Are you happy with the profitability they're offering to you? Are you happy with the revenue growth? And if not, you can decide not to focus on that. So there is no one size fits all. And then the double click you can have with the marketplace, and then it becomes very interesting. For me, there are three ways to address marketplace: 1P, 3P, or branded storefront. 1P, it's buy and sell model. So you sell they buy to you and they sell to the end consumer. Okay, which is
So Amazon would go and buy from you the products and then manage however they want the sales on Amazon. Okay.
Exactly. So they are the ones selling directly to the consumer. Exactly. What you need to know is that the Amazon is driven by profitability. So if they don't make good profitability on your product in the algorithm, you are not going to win the buy box, which is a big issue. And it can create many issues after with Amazon. They will ask you more profitability. Then your profitability will decrease. And then it can be a vicious cycle very fast with Amazon. Then you have 3P. 3P is very interesting as well. In some markets, like in Latin America, 3P is growing big time with Mercado Libre, which is the Amazon Latin America. And it's good. I mean, it's another approach. And by the way, Amazon is putting also more effort in 3P. I think 3P is as big as 1P and will become bigger than 1P soon for Amazon. It depends really from one region to another. So 3P is very good as well. But for 3P, you need, and I've learned a lot on that, you need to work with very good distribution, because basically with 3P, the good way to do that is to work with a distributor that will that will represent you, and that will sell to reseller, and the reseller will sell it as a 3P on the marketplace. If you don't do a good job to hire the right distribution, there is a risk that first, the consumer experience can be very bad. Two, authenticity, so non-genuine product or used products sold instead of new products. So they pretend to sell new product, but it's used product. So, so some people are trying to do that, some resellers. So you need a good disty helping you to clean all these potential issues. This is very important. And Amazon has also a program to help the manufacturers working with 3P to make sure they bring only authentic products. They have a program, I forgot the name of the program, but they can help you to have specific label on the product, making sure that only the product with this label are authentic, and all the others are not authentic. So, and you need to pay Amazon for that. So, and the last one is branded storefront. So branded storefront is, for me, it is like you have your website on a marketplace. You have different models to land that. You can land this directly or through a distribution as well. So you can deliver directly the marketplace or through a disty, but you manage your image on the website. And there are many, so it can be in 1P, it can be in 3P. More and more brands are doing that. I think it makes sense if you want to make sure that you have a great experience for the end consumer and not something just transactional. So it depends on again, on the role you want to give to the marketplace. If it's a role to help you to improve your image, is good. And then you have new marketplaces like the social media marketplace, which is very interesting because it's booming, like TikTok, Facebook. On this one, what I've learned is it's not easy to make money. Definitely, it depends on the type of product you are selling. But it's not easy. But I think it's important to try, definitely, because it's booming for very specific categories, definitely on TikTok. So I would recommend to try and learn from TikTok and expand if it's working.
And would you have an example of the, I would say, type of company that would work well in 1P and one type of company that should not do 1P and should do, for example, a branded storefront?
Yes. So, yeah, I would say for me, the big brands, it's good for them to work in 1P with Amazon. I think it makes sense to do that in general terms. And you have this option even in 1P to have a branded storefront. So I would say, let's take Nike. Just this brand is in my mind right now. For me, it makes total sense for Nike to have a 1P approach and to build, to surf on the big motion of Amazon, like the Prime Day, and to make sure that during the Prime Day, they offer specific shoes just for specific color as example, just for Amazon, so that Amazon can differentiate themselves versus other retailers on specific offer. Because what you need to avoid at all price is that Amazon, as they may be aggressive and they want to have also good profit, they can bring you in a very tough situation where the price is too aggressive. The other retailers are following, so everybody is lowering the price. As you know, it's illegal to give the price to the retailer, so you can just let them go. And then at a certain point, everybody will come back to you to get more margin because the new price is a new reality for them. And then your profit is decreasing big time. So you cannot give price, again, recommendation to the retailer because it's illegal to do that. They can put the price they want to get. But you can be smart and you can say, hey, on Amazon, I don't need to have the full portfolio. I don't need to have, as example, all the shoes, all my shoes, to give this example. I want to be there with very specific shoes, a specific color, so that if they start being more aggressive, it's not going to kill all my markets. This is what I would do just to avoid, to protect somehow your market. And then you are still very legal. So, because otherwise Amazon will be your only customer, and this is very risky. Because in channel strategy, what's very important is to avoid that Amazon is your only customer. You need to be balanced, and so this is why to have a role for every distributor or retailer is key. You can say, hey, I want Best Buy to be my image. I want to have the best experience with Best Buy. I want to have my full portfolio. And it's going to be more expensive, but I'm fine because I know people go in Best Buy to get the experience. And then if they buy online with Amazon, I'm fine. But indeed, my profitability may be lower. I want Best Buy, I want Target to have some key products, also some key offer, and not necessarily the full portfolio like Best Buy. And I want Amazon to be very successful on key momentum, with a very specific portfolio color so that they are not killing my entire market. So it's an example, but this is what I call channel strategy, to give a role, to give clear tactics, promotion, to stay super clear that you cannot give price because this is a risk if you start doing that. It's completely illegal. So you need to navigate with other things like portfolio, promotion, and to start creating differentiation between the retailer. Because at the end, every retailer wants to be different from the others. They don't want to bring exactly the same portfolio, the same stuff, the same color. So you need to create this differentiation and to orchestrate that.
And how would you go about differentiating your own, retail value, your own website, for example, from Amazon? Because a big issue, or with Target, a big issue with these companies is that now they have such an amazing fulfillment, system that Target, now you can buy whatever is not only online. You can know which aisle, which bin. Like, it's crazy. Like, they guide you in the thing. So if you really don't want to wait, you can buy directly. So if you're working with Target and you have your products in store, you can do that. But how do you go about the strategy between your own website and marketplaces to not kill your own website?
No, this is a great point. So this is the difference between the direct to consumer strategy, what we call D2C, and the B2B2C strategy. Okay. Yes. So the direct to consumer, for me, it should be the strategy when you make sure that you present your brand the best way. You don't need to be the most aggressive in terms of price, or you don't need to take the lead on that, at least. You can be a follower of what's going on the market, but you cannot start doing super aggressive promotion. This is what I would recommend to do, and set the tone for the entire market, and then they follow you, and then you create yourself an issue in terms of price war. So This is clearly what I won't do with a website. On the direct-to-consumer strategy, I would focus on the content to make sure you bring the best experience for the consumer, the best detail paged for the consumer, that you bring the best video, the best benefits, all the content. Because this is a challenge for the others. So you need to be the best in class in terms of execution online, because the others are not always as good as your website. So you need to show them how
To create really the experience of the
how to create
brand,
the
and
experience
because
online.
you cannot really have that on Amazon. It's like a product page inside Amazon,
Exactly.
but on your
Although you
website
create
you can.
although you create this branded storefront, but you're right, it's all about winning the win box, winning the buy box, sorry, to be super high on the algorithm, and it's all about profitability, revenue, return, and so on. So you're right. But you can tweak a little bit with Amazon, and you can improve that. But what you need to understand is the journey for a consumer is depending from one category to another. But for a PC, as example, when you buy a PC, between the moment you think about that and the moment you buy, you have 2 or 3 months. And what's happening, you have many people visiting HP, Dell, Lenovo, going there, looking at all the technical aspect of the PC. And at the end, they don't go often there to buy because they want to touch it. So they will go in Best Buy, they will touch, they will ask questions. And at the end, they can go to Amazon once they have clarity, and they will check for the best deal. But there is a journey. So in the journey, the discovery phase, this is the name, the website of the manufacturer, like the manufacturer of PC, is crucial. So this is the best place to communicate that. And you don't need to be the place where people buy necessarily. This is not, it shouldn't be your role. You have other places for that, and you need to give space to the ecosystem. If you start being too aggressive, the ecosystem will say, okay, do yourself. But during the COVID, okay, the digital mix has moved from 30% to 70% during COVID, more or less. After COVID, we go back to 2030. Digital versus brick and mortar. It depends really from one category to another. So you cannot say, oh, I will manage myself, everything. No, you need to work with the ecosystem. And what I've learned is that also the Gen Z, as they are pretty tired with that, with social media, I've heard, and to take just my daughter as an example, during the weekend, she likes just to take out all the social media for her phone, and she likes to go to the real world shopping and to have an experience. So it's not intuitive, but I've heard that more and more young people like to go back to the mall, to see people, real people, to touch things. So we go back like to a real brick and mortar experience. So what's important is to understand the full journey from discovery phase to buy phase. And in this journey, to understand the role of your website versus partner website, where people buy, where people discover, and to accommodate your strategy in function of these needs.
No, so it's really good. I never really thought about it in that much detail.
Yeah.
That's
And we
I
do
always say
study about
talk
that.
about Amazon, that is like the love-hate relationship, but that's that's really
Yeah.
about it.
No, and you can make really study survey to really understand where people do this phase from discovery to purchase. And based on this learning, in my case, I've learned really a lot that in discovery phase, people go on the website of the manufacturer. So we need to pay our attention on the content, but then don't necessarily buy there, which is fine. So it means that all your investment maybe is not paying off directly. So you don't need to say, hey, I'm building this website, but I want to have a direct return. I think if you start doing that, there is a risk that you invest less on your website, but your website will help your network, your partners to sell more because the consumer is even visiting a mobile in a Best Buy. They will go maybe on Dell.com to give this example, and they will check, oh, now I understand the difference between these two pieces. Now it's clear. Now I will buy that. You know, some people are doing that straight in the store. So
Interesting.
important.
No, that's really cool, and yeah, there is a lot to learn, and there is a lot to learn, and really to see, take a, like what we say, a bird's eye view on the strategy, and make sure that we're looking at it, globally, and making sure that each channel play its role, basically.
Exactly. Exactly. And let me give you another example. I've done a lot of what we call category management. And it's important that the role you are giving to every retailer is defined. Let me give you two extremes. Wine category. For some retailer, wine category is like we call a destination category. So typically put at the entrance of the store because they want to over-invest in this category, and it creates an image for the entire chain. Okay. It can be the case of, I'm thinking now loudly, it can be like Fresh Market. Okay, Fresh Market, super big wine category. They want to have a good assortment. They don't necessarily to be aggressive in terms of price, but they want to create an experience. So this is destination category. You have also traffic category. Let's take Coca-Cola. It's not I don't think it's a destination category for any retailer, but it can be a traffic category for some retailers having the best deal, the family pack. So maybe Costco will be very aggressive. I'm giving here a fake example. I'm not sure it's the right one, but can say, hey, for me, soft drink is a traffic builder category. I want to have the best offer, the best pack. So I will be more aggressive in pricing, promotion. I will be very visible on display in my store. I will communicate a lot in my catalog because this category, if I have the right pricing, the right packaging, the right promotion, I will attract people to my store. And I want, with that, I will drive like, I will generate like a promo hunter image through this category. And I don't want to do that with wine. If I am,
No, it's always trying to find a way to attract on each side.
exactly.
And so you told me also that you're already working with a startup right now and helping
Yes.
them with their go-to-market strategy.
Yeah. So basically, I'm working on two projects. One is I'm working with a company called Blue Ocean. So Blue Ocean strategy, Blue Ocean company or agency, they plan to grow their business in the US. Blue Ocean Strategy is a book. Basically, this is the book. It's a great book that I recommend to everybody. And it's all about finding new markets instead of trying to find in a crowded market. Okay. A good example in the consumer world is when Apple decided to launch, let's say, the iPhone. They didn't try to come with another phone, with more features or with a more aggressive price. They changed completely the way to look at this business, and they focus on very specific things, and they've done really well in terms of execution. This is what Blue Ocean is all about, the strategy. Okay, so to find one or two things you want to focus on that will be very important for the consumer or the partner, and it's based on some insights that you are discovering in the market. And you want to avoid the red ocean. Red ocean, it means that everybody is more or less the same in terms of products, in terms of features, and the only things that differentiate everybody is pricing, which is not sustainable because there is a price war and it's not good. So So here, with this company, I want to help companies from starting point to finish point, trying to figure out what is their strategy, or they can differentiate themselves, or we can create markets, or we can create really a market space for them, or they can be really different from competition. And we do that from strategy to creating marketing materials. Okay, so it's like consulting an agency company. And so this agency offers a comprehensive service, starting with consulting based on blue ocean principle. As I was explaining,
And
this
then
involves conducting
execution.
market interviews with target personas, facilitating also team workshop, really understanding, okay, guys, what we want to achieve at the end, or we can be different. And then the process, once there is clarity on market positioning and messaging, then they can translate that in clear marketing assets from website, digital strategy, everything. And it's connected with the learnings in this exploring phase, consulting phase. Okay, so it's very successful. And basically, they can help companies to pivot their strategy. If the company is saying, oh, it's not working what I'm doing, they can, with that, they can repivot the strategy of the company and making sure they can really focus on the right things to be successful.
Super. That's really exciting. So, for anybody, watching, if you guys want to reach David, it's very simple. You go to davidmerzel.com, which is MERZEL.com. And then if anybody is in AI and retail and anything that has to be with, go-to-market strategy or channel management with AI, feel free to reach out to him so you can be featured in the book. But I'm super excited. I cannot wait to read your book. I'm happy to bring whatever insight I can give if that helps. But it was a true pleasure to have you on this podcast, and I'm really looking forward to reading your book, because I'm sure it's going to help a lot of brands have a clear a clear image of what needs to be done.
Exactly. No, thank you, Alex. Thanks for the great conversation.